I'm back. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you. Thank you. No photos. No photos. Oh, I missed you all so much. Here, let me give you a kiss. Mwah. Mwah. Literally, so much has been happening to me in these 2 months that I've gone missing. I honestly thought I was going to lose all my followers. Nope. Here you guys are, and thank you so much for everyone who's decided to follow me in the months that I was away, and those who have previously followed me and were there from the beginning and have decided to stick around. Thank you. I have so much to catch up on me. I have so much to catch up with you. So what should I start? Let's start before going to Florida. Before going to Florida, I was working at a retail, like a superstore, like a regular store, food store. Yes, food store. I'm just gonna say a food store. And my boss hated me, did not like me because I fought with her best friend who was like an 80-year-old woman. And that forced me to quit because they were taking my hours and I need to find another job. My other friend who worked at another superstore, another branch, it wasn't the same one, it was like completely a competitor, I think it was. I called her and I said, hey, look, can you do me the biggest favor ever and just talk to your boss and help me get hired by your store? And she said, yeah, and I got hired right away. That's where I was before I left to Florida, and when I came back, I was working there happily. I'm like, God has given me more hours, and I was praying for more hours. I was getting more money, but because it was a minimum wage job and it was a very busy store with not that many cashiers, I was getting really, really tired. And I tried so hard to not complain because I saw my other coworkers who had been working at that superstore for like their whole lives, and that's their main form of income. And I'm like, I admire them, but that's not what I want. And I felt guilty a bit, but I knew that God had something in store for me that was something more than just this. After all, I graduated to become an elementary school teacher. I'm sure I'm going to find an elementary school job. But I applied to one, the main district school board of my city, and I got declined. I guess I wasn't diverse enough, or my speech wasn't great. And that just destroyed me. I thought, oh my gosh, am I going to have to stay in this job, in this superstore job, until next year where I get a chance to reapply to the district school board? And I realized that that's not what I want. I want to get out of there now. I want to earn a better wage. I worked and I studied and I graduated for me to get a better job and a better wage. So I started going crazy. As soon as I came back from Florida, I started applying to all private schools, district school boards, everything I could possibly think of. And I was hearing left and right. And that is when I realized that putting your trust in God is sometimes a bit difficult. I know I've had a few videos in the past saying, oh, you gotta trust God and have faith. Yes, even I have a lot of faith in Him, but sometimes it's hard to keep with that faith, because during that period of time while I was searching for a new job, I just kept getting rejected. No after no after no after no. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I remember this clear as day when it happened. I had just finished an interview. It was so embarrassing because I froze in one of the questions, and I knew the answer, but I just froze. And it was like, what, my 20th interview? And after that, I said sorry, I apologized, and I said maybe it will come back. I emailed them with the answer, but of course I knew they were not going to hire me after I mess up like that. And I don't blame them. I just thanked them for the opportunity of even considering having an interview with me. But after I had that interview with them and the Zoom closed, I put my head on the table and cried. because I said, I am such a dumbass. And I said to myself and to God, I will not be able to get a job if it isn't by the grace of God. Because no matter how much I studied, how much I practiced, how much professional I looked and dressed and said the things that I was supposed to say in the interview, I wasn't getting hired. And I had zero faith in myself. And I was hopeful that God was going to give me a job, but I was scared. And my faith was like, eh. Like in the sense like, oh my gosh, this anxiety. Whenever you have anxious or stress, it just means you don't have enough faith or trust in God, that He's got your back. And I guess that's normal. It's human to feel that way. I kept saying, no, I trust you. But then I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna get hired. I'm gonna stuck working on that minimum wage job forever, and my wrist is already hurting. I'm wearing braces on my hands so they don't hurt because of the amount of times I have to scan an object. I don't want to stay there forever. I want to have my money. I want to do this. I graduated this, and I just had to remind myself. It was constant battle of trying to calm down, remind myself, and it got so bad to the point that I had gotten this opportunity to work at a Islamic private school, to be a teacher there. I had gone for the first round of interviews, and the second round of interviews was going to be after like a certain date. And I was pacing back and forth. I'm like, okay, if I get this job, I'm gonna get this amount of hours, and this, like, I'm going to get money, and I'm going to be able to teach. But then I kept thinking, do I really want to teach at a Islamic private school? They're not doing anything bad in the sense that legally they're doing what they think it's right. They have the freedom of doing their own religion, and by God's standards in the Bible, you have the free will to choose whether you want to follow Him or not. And they have decided that their way is the real way, and they're doing that. That's the religion. But I didn't feel comfortable going to that school and preparing myself to be a teacher there and staying quiet at the things that are going around me. I'm like, I can't do that. I thought I was trying to lie to myself that, hey, this is going to be okay. You're just there to teach. It's okay. It's going to happen. And you just stay silent of however they do their things. But that's not me. I just didn't want that. And I was talking to my mom, and she said, I don't see you going and working in that school. God has better plans for you. And I think it's because of my desperation of wanting to earn more money that I was willing to lower my standards of my desires, I guess. And I was willing to accept this job that goes against everything I believe in. So I canceled on that. And I felt for a bit, I felt relieved, but at the same time, I'm like, I just let go of a job that had lots of money for me. And then came another opportunity where I was going to earn a bit more money, and I loved it, but they said, oh, it's a contract job, so you have to be contracted to either from September to December, or there's another contract where you can do September to the end of the school year, which is June. And I said I can't do that because I'm waiting for the district school board to reply to me if they accepted me. And what happens if they have accepted me and I'm at this job and I'm already contracted and I can't work? I will lose the opportunity, because to be a elementary school in the district school board, you have to do 30 days of work for you not to lose your position. And if I had accepted the other job, I would have lost the opportunity because I wouldn't have a chance to at least work 30 days as a supply teacher for a district school board. So I had to sadly cancel that, and there was no more work to apply for. September was already there and everyone was starting school. Some students had, some previous classmates of mine in university had already been hired, and I was just there working at a superstore, tired, scanning away and hoping that God could do some miracle in my life. But I kept reminding me, he got you into university. He made sure that you got into university debt free. And you graduated by his grace. So if he was able to do that miracle, I'm sure he's going to do another miracle. And he did. He came through. My God is so great. He came through so in such an amazing manner that I am still completely shocked. Every person that I meet, I tell them what he did. I had applied to this district school board, and I had no faith in myself because I've already messed up all the other interviews, and the only way God could ever get me a job is if it's by his grace, and somehow he talks through me and I say the right things in the interview or something. But no, he surprised me. Guess what? The job that I applied for didn't even require an interview. It's this district school board that were so low in supplies and teachers that they were accepting supplies like crazy. Like they didn't need interview. They're like, okay, you got accepted. You have by the province standards, you are in the teachers college and you graduated. You have your number. You're good. You're in. I got into the school without an interview. Lord knows that I had such a bad streak in interviews, and I would just mess up somehow, that he gave me a job without the need of a interview. That is a huge miracle. And you know what? Between the interviews, while I was failing, I kept saying, wouldn't it be great if God somehow gave me an interview? No, like gave me a job without a need of interview. I just said that just as a playing. But he actually came through and did it. It's just amazing. Anyways, that's what happened. Through like that transitioning in those 2 months, I was like getting paperwork done, getting into this new district school board, working as a supply and getting my money. And because I finally got adult money, when I say adult money, I'm like the money from a good job, not the superstore job money. I got myself this nice jacket, I got myself a nice bag, I got myself some boots, and I started to just go a bit fun. In the new year, I'll make sure to start saving, but I just wanted to do stuff, and I met new friends. I now have new friends that I'm so happy. They're Christian girls, and they're fashionable, they're cute. We're going together to Cuba. Yeah, I didn't tell you guys that. This December, I'll be traveling a lot. I'll be going back to Guatemala, and after that, when I come back, I'm going to Cuba with my besties, and I'm excited. So yeah, even though you think that the world is ending because you see yourself wanting more, or you think that the current place that you're at is not where you want to be, God will come through. Just keep up the faith. And how can you like remind yourself, oh, stay faithful, believe in him, have faith that he's going to pull through, is read the Bible, like I said, listen to worship music, get closer to him. But also I want to preface something, like clear something up. Although I was hoping for something new and better and I was applying for jobs, I also recognized that if God wanted me to have a teaching job another time, like next year, I would have to accept it because it's his will. Yep, so that is my story about how God pulled through and how he showed me that yet again he's always there for me, and how miracles are true. And I want to finish this video with this, that if you're going through the same situation as I did, where you're in a spot where you don't see yourself being forever there, and you want something else, and you're praying for it and hoping that it comes true, you have to put your trust in Him. Even if it wavers, keep pushing forward and believing in Him. Because sometimes acceptance of what He decides to do at the end is much better than being stressed and having that anxious thoughts of, I want this, I want this, I want this now, I want this, I want this. God is not going to bless you like that if you keep that mentality. You say, I want this, I really, really want this. I'm going to work towards it and may God open doors for me so that I can reach it. And while you're doing that journey, recognize that if God tells you no, sure, you're allowed to feel sadness for it, but don't whine. And don't be angry at Him, and don't fight Him. He knows why He closes doors and why He opens doors. But this is what's great about Him. While you're in your journey of asking and waiting on God, and asking and waiting for Him to open doors for you or close them, you will be surprised on how He does it His way. I was so shocked. I thought that God was going to make me smarter in the sense of, okay, the next time I have an interview with the district school board, I'm going to say things correctly and not mess up. He's going to give me wisdom, something like that. But no, He did it supernaturally, where I got accepted without a need of an interview. Never in my life would have I thought that He was going to do that, and He did it. So yeah, trust God.